Hi, my name's Tashmia Ismail. I run the GIBS Base of Pyramid Hub. I want to tell you a little about our conference on the 29th of June, which is called Into Africa, Entry Strategies and Brand Building for African Markets. I think a lot of firms are overwhelmed with data around the rise in African consumer and African consumer spend. There's also a lot of literature around BOP markets, which is a $4 billion market globally with a $5 trillion spend. I think it's important to remember, however, that these markets are not easily accessible. There are a large number of infrastructural challenges in reaching these consumers. We also need to take note that there are strong local tastes and local preferences. If we take brands, for example, like Adcock Ingram's Camphor Cream or Standard Bank, those brands are so firmly entrenched in South African nostalgia and South African memory. When these firms go into African markets, there are no points of reference for them to lock into. That's one of the first issues that firms need to deal with. A second one when entering African markets is internal firm questions around human resources. Do I take people from my head office or do I employ locally? And what are the challenges of employing locally? We also then have firms looking at entry strategies. How do I go in? Do I take advantage of local firms' know-how and enter into JVs or mergers and acquisitions, or does the firm go in with a greenfield? So from these few points that I've made, we can see that there are actually checklists of considerations for firms when they're making these decisions to internationalize into difficult markets like African markets. This is why GIBS has arranged for this conference. We're bringing in the likes of Sim Shabalala of Standard Bank, Jonathan Lowe of Adcock Ingram, and Brett Levy, CEO of Blue Label Telecoms, to share with us some of their experiences and challenges. And we know that for every firm, it is sector dependent, industry dependent, so there's no one answer. But we're hoping that by getting a view from all of these experts in the field, that you can assimilate some sort of strategy from your learnings that you gain. It's critical for firms to map and understand the landscape before internationalizing, and often a trick in this process is to tap into a network of relationships and know-how. This is why we have our conference on the 29th of June to start enabling this process for firms, help with this mapping process. And it's important to remember that there is a window of opportunity at the moment which is closing very fast with the entry of the likes of Walmart and other large multinationals into African markets.